Today, we received some surprising news about SeaWorld possibly looking to purchase Cedar Fair. This seems like a joke, and you may write this off immediately, but I think there's a case for Cedar Fair actually accepting this offer. On the surface, this may sound dumb because Six Flags offered up $4 billion to purchase the company in 2019, and SeaWorld is offering $3.4 billion to purchase the company now. But based on some of the numbers I've seen from other companies after the majority of COVID shutdowns in America, it appears that Cedar Fair may be struggling more than any other company. Today I'm going to be discussing the possibility of this offer actually happening, how both sides could benefit from this, and how this will affect us as consumers. Before we get into all of that, make sure to do me a huge favor by hitting that like button. Liking the video helps the channel out greatly against the YouTube algorithm, and any help is greatly appreciated. Also, if you like coaster content and news updates, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more of this coming soon. With that said, let's dig into the meat and potatoes of this offer. Cutting right to the chase, I think this deal could actually happen. In fact, I think it could be more likely to happen than not to happen. Before the pandemic, Cedar Fair was soaring as their stock was among the most valuable for amusement park chains. They weren't doing as well as in years past, but they are definitely financially ahead of Six Flags and SeaWorld. Six Flags offered to buy Cedar Fair, which is laughed at by enthusiasts and potentially even the company themselves. Six Flags was struggling at the time, and this was reflected upon even before the pandemic as their stock plummeted before the pandemic started. However, it appears that Cedar Fair has mismanaged their pandemic response. SeaWorld and Six Flags were both criticized for holding back ride openings at their parks. Cedar Fair opened up their rides when they got the chance to, with rides like Orion opening up on the reopening day for Kings Island. SeaWorld chose the more scummy route, but it seems to be paying off. Their stock has nearly doubled in price since before the pandemic, and it only seems to be on the upswing. The talks of the Cedar Fair bid made both companies' stock increase, which has put Cedar Fair at its highest price in some time now. The fact that Cedar Fair is taking this into consideration is significant, which shows the situation is much different than the Six Flags situation. According to an inside source, SeaWorld is allegedly offering $60 per share, when Cedar Fair's stock was only around $50 per share. As it stands, Cedar Fair's stock has increased to above $56 per share, but that's still a lot of extra money, especially since Cedar Fair's stock would go back down if they declined this offer most likely. Another issue that Cedar Fair has had to face is that Canada's Wonderland, one of the company's biggest grossing properties, has been struggling to operate for the past 2 years as the government has tried to keep them shut down. This has likely contributed to the company's losses significantly, and the situation does not look to be improving due to the lockdowns from Ontario. The post-lockdown attendance boom seemed to have benefited every chain greatly, including Cedar Fair to some extent, but Cedar Fair has still reported a net loss of income in 6 of their last 7 quarters. This is probably due to them not being able to make up losses from Canada's Wonderland. Wonderland allegedly became the company's second highest attended park after they introduced Winterfest, as their reported attendance was 3.960 million in 2019. This park being closed is about equal to a few of the company's smaller parks being closed for a whole year. Cedar Fair's lack of recent additions supports this theory as well. Cedar Fair didn't do anything major in 2021 as far as I know, and the only notable addition for 2022 is Toonbeely, a smaller SNS 40 free spin going to King's Dominion. Even before the pandemic, Cedar Fair didn't have much planned for 2020 outside of Orion, which is contrasted to past years like 2018, where the company invested in 4 roller coasters. Do I think that Cedar Fair is in big trouble? No, but they have been struggling as of late, and they haven't gotten that post-pandemic boom like other chains have. I think this bid could definitely benefit Cedar Fair. The bid is basically offering Cedar Fair an out at $60 per share versus them having to try to work it back up over time. And there's no guarantee that'll happen, especially with the uncertainty surrounding Canada's Wonderland. Cedar Fair could just merge with SeaWorld and they could get an increase in their stock price for the shareholders, who are basically the owners. I think this will greatly benefit SeaWorld SeaWorld in their quest to be an amusement-based company versus being more animal-based. Cedar Fair is a chain entirely based on amusement park rides and water parks only. This would help to get the target off of SeaWorld's back that was created by Blackfish. I think maybe they could even take Cedar Fair's name, just like when Premier took Six Flags' name for the public appeal, helping SeaWorld cover their tracks at some of their non-marine based parks. The deal really comes down to Cedar Fair choosing to either work their stock back up and taking the chance of that completely failing, or let it increase for this deal and be subjugated to whatever SeaWorld wants to do with their parks. It would be interesting to see who would make the new super chain. But I think SeaWorld would keep some of Cedar Fair's executives to combine forces. As a consumer, I'm not really sure how to feel about this. I think having more change is generally better because it promotes competition, but I also feel that SeaWorld is nowhere near as big of a competitor or driving force as Cedar Fair as Six Flags currently is, so I think this wouldn't kill the competition factor. I doubt that SeaWorld will change the parks that much, at least in the short term, because I don't think they would want to alter the parks in their current form that much, mainly because that's where SeaWorld is trying to get their current parks more focused toward the ride side of things, which the Cedar Fair parks already are. I believe that there could be some cross branding in some places, like Cedar Fair parks potentially getting animals, but at the same time SeaWorld may just try to keep all of their branding off of Cedar Fair's parks. As far as investment goes, this could bode well for some of the smaller parks with Cedar Fair, because pretty much any investment would be better than what they're getting now. We don't know what will happen if this bid goes through, so it's anyone's guess how it would turn out. Even if the bid doesn't go through, I think that SeaWorld will still look to be buying some independent parks or smaller chains that may help their cause. Most people will be quick to say that this is a bad thing, but I just honestly don't know. I think that this bid is taking us into uncharted territory, so there's no telling what will happen next. To conclude, will SeaWorld buy Cedar Fair? Maybe. I think it's a coin flip at this point. We can't be in the room with the Cedar Fair executives, so we won't know until we get official word from the company. I will note that Cedar Fair did acknowledge this proposal and are seriously considering it, so they likely will have a public answer for us at some point. A good amount of information on this bid still remains unconfirmed, so make sure to be on the lookout for more information about the situation coming out soon. If a transaction does indeed happen, I'll do my best to give you guys coverage of that, so make sure to subscribe so you do not miss future updates. Again, this is still an evolving situation, so stay tuned. Make sure to let me know what you guys think about the situation down in the comments below, as I think there are many ways you could look at this. So I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave me a like while you're at it as well. With all that being said, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.